Hello. I want to give you a review for test number 2, and by way of review, help you, give you some guidance on how to study and what you should be studying for this test. As you know, the test will be on chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that would be legislature, state legislature, governor, crime and courts, and bureaucracy. Now, the test will be the same format as the past test, test number 1, which would include 50 questions, multiple choice, and maybe a few true and false. I'm not sure yet about true and false, but certainly 50 questions of that nature. And then there will be 2 essay questions on the test as well. And as we did before, I will give you information here on 3 essay question areas of content from which essay questions will be spawned, if you will. Excuse me. And then the test will include 2 of them, and I will choose the 2 that will be on the test. So you're going to have to study your, what I would recommend is that you study your continuous tests that you've received back. If you have not done the test for Chapter 9, you need to do that right away and get that back. I would study all of those because 80% of the questions will come from tests that you've had already, the continuous tests. So 80% of the 50 questions will come from those tests. You've seen them before, and by Friday you will know the right answers if you're diligent about completing that test on time. And then the second part of the test, as I said earlier, will be 2 essay questions, 2 out of the 3 areas I'm about to discuss with you now. I want to say also that the essay questions, the essay responses the last test were not as good as they should be. You really need to be detailed, clarify, and give examples. Details are important. Examples are important. And so I would spend at least I would write about 2 pages at least of handwritten information as a response to each of those essay questions. That's about the average amount of information, is about 2 pages worth of response. And I'm sure you could do more than that if you in a 2-hour time period that you'll have on Friday. Everybody will take the test at the same time, 2 o'clock, whether it's proctored or here on campus. And that reminds me, not everyone has yet told me by email who the proctor will be, or where you will take the test. So if you haven't done that, then I'd ask everyone to do that by noon today. It's Tuesday. I've only gotten 1 person to submit that information. Please do that immediately. I have to have time to get back to the proctor and be assured that he or she is ready to respond or act in that capacity. Another item just to mention is that today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Lincoln Memorial University is holding its annual strategic planning retreat. And I'm playing a prominent role in that retreat. And so I will be in the Cumberland Gap Convention Center for 3 days, all day Wednesday, all Thursday, and a little bit, half a day on Friday. So I'll be back here in the evenings checking your work, sending you back your continuous tests that you finished or hopefully have finished by then, and answering email. But I won't be available to answer email between the regular work hours. It'll be in the evening. So let me know right away who your proctor is or whether you're taking a test. If you're taking a test here on main campus, I need to know right away, or Cedar Bluff, because I have to line someone up who will proctor the test in those areas. And I can't guarantee Cedar Bluff at this point because it's long. It would be a very short notice for that person there. All right, so the test. You know about the 50 questions. About approximately 80% will come from the past continuous tests that you've had. For this, just for this section, chapter 6, 7, 8, and 9, only those continuous tests. Not the first section. Chapters 1 through 5, we are finished with for now. This test is only 6, 7, 8, and 9. The 3 essay areas include the following. One of the areas will be how a bill becomes a law. I will expect you to know and to be able to relate uh, who can create a bill, how a bill gets submitted to a state assembly, what happens while it's in the state assembly. You should be able to speak about committees, what they are, what they do, how many times the bill is read on the floor of each chamber, how does the bill get from one chamber to another, what if the two bills created in each chamber are not alike, what happens there, um, what happens after that, does it go to a governor, what does the governor do? So from the time that there's an idea to the time that a bill becomes a law, you need to tell in your essay response everything that happens, particularly where some of the trap doors are located. By trap doors, I mean where can a bill be killed or stopped or tabled. You need to know those things as well and be able to uh, indicate that in your response. There's other terms also in that bill process like log jams, earmarking, amendments, fiscal bills, vetoes, veto override, and so on that you can use to weave into your response to that essay area. Okay, essay area number 2 will be what I call the roles of the governor. The roles of the governor. What are the roles of the governor? I think the text outlined these pretty well. I mentioned them in my original video regarding the gubernatorial politics of governors. What are those roles individually? You should be able to explain each and every one thoroughly. Um, you should be able to explain why those roles are important and what the governor's responsibilities are within those roles. And there was a number of them. I counted 7 or 8 of them. So I would expect you to be very clear about what those roles are, how the governor uses them, why, and maybe even the political ramifications of each role, how important they are, how those roles might influence the state legislature. Okay, there's a lot to that, and I would expect you to be able to answer accordingly. The third area of essay area would be what I think of as bureaucracy and bureaucratic growth. And in this way, in this area of concern, you should be able to define what a bureaucracy is, how the bureaucracy works with the governor and with the state assembly, who's responsible for the bureaucracy, okay, and why governments have gotten so large, why the bureaucracy, the offices and departments have gotten so large over time. There's a lot to that, and you have to think through, as the text suggests, what is it that agencies do, agencies and departments. That's what bureaucracy is. It's all the people that work in these agencies and departments. What do they actually do? What are they there for? Are they there for implementing law, regulation, adjudication? Do they have discretion? Do they detail law? Do they make up rules and regulations? What exactly do those bureaucracies, those departments and agencies do? And if you know that, you should be able to explain why they've gotten large over time. There's also an aspect of this called bureaucratic professionalization. Where did the merit system begin, and how has that merit system overlaid itself over the 50 states' bureaucracies? What does it mean? And how have bureaucracies become more professional? How have bureaucrats become more professional? And why? Is it a good thing? What does it mean for politics? Those are some of the areas, the main ingredients to that third area, bureaucratic growth, that I think would be important in responding to the question that I might have on your test. So of those 3 areas, the legislature and making law, roles of the governor, and bureaucracy, I will choose 2, and those questions will be on your major test number 2. I will not have an essay question on crime courts and criminology and all of that, chapter 9, but there will be quite many regular questions on the test regarding chapter 9. All right. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know by email. Again, I need to know your proctor, or if you're taking a test here on main campus, I need to know right away so I can set that up for you. And everyone will start the test no earlier, no later than 2 o'clock. Everybody has 2 hours. And then if you're proctoring, your proctor will scan and send back to me if you're taking a test here at Cedar Bluff. If I can set it up at Cedar Bluff, I'm not sure I can. I will be ready to get those tests back and return a grade to you hopefully on Monday. Thank you very much.